Welcome to Refined Resilience. I'm your host, Carrie Hill, and on this podcast, we highlight the small moments that shape our journey toward greatness and remind us that resilience isn't linear. Each episode features stories of perseverance and the little victories that often go unnoticed, illustrating that resilience is about finding strength in everyday life. My friends, I am so excited about my guest today. I'm going to give you a little clue. His mother named him Jeffrey, but his friends call him Griff. Griff played in the 2004 Paralympic Games in Athens, Greece, and is a silver medalist in wheelchair basketball. He is a national champion in the wheelchair NBA and a 4-time All-Star MVP. Griff has 2 Guinness Book of World Records and has written 2 award-winning books titled I'm Possible, Desire, Dream, Do, and Endless Possibilities, the 90-Day Recipe for World Record Results. With more than 20 years of research and real-life results, Griff has a proven and predictable process that eliminates your excuses, which helps you succeed. Like Michelle Gagné, Canada and Malaysia's Olympic mental coach, said, Griff is the 1% of the 1%. Hi, Griff.
Carrie, thank you so much for letting me be here on your shoulders.
Oh my goodness. This is so fun for me. You know, we were talking off camera before just about how I was so drawn to you the first time that I met you. And that was just last year. So we haven't even known each other for a whole year yet. And, but I feel like I've known you for a really long time. And I think that's just a testament to that like souls and energy find each other. And so I reached out. I wanted to share your story with everybody, and you were so kind to accommodate me. So thank you so much for being here with me.
You are so welcome. Thank you for the invitation. I'm I'm holding on to people's coattails. And like I said, it's really easy to look good on the shoulders of giants. And so thank you for letting me sit on your shoulders.
Well, you're welcome. Likewise. No, but that's really true. We need people that are bigger than us to lift us up sometimes, right? And we take turns in that space. We lift, they lift. We lift, they lift. So if it's a system of reciprocity, we always operate in that space. How can I help you, right? And you help me. And I love that. And you do this so beautifully. You are out in the world doing nothing but helping other people recognize within themselves what you already know to be true about them. And that's so beautiful. And I want to talk a little bit about that with you. So we're going to get the Reader's Digest background on you. And then I want to move into a little bit more of your actual resilience journey. So I'd love for you just to tell listeners, viewers, a little bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, some people think that it all started when I found myself on my back after falling 40 feet next to an unpainted barn in the fields of Napoleon Dynamite country there in Preston, Idaho. I was up 40 feet on some scaffolding.
Yeah.
It was in between football seasons, and I had just fallen 40 feet, broke my back, didn't know it at the time, but I was on my back next to an unpainted barn, and I'm like, okay, now what? My dreams of playing football in college were just shattered. My identity of being able to run faster, jump higher, catch better than the next receiver or the next cornerback was stripped from me. And so I went into a tailspin. My identity was stripped, my physicality, and here I am. I can't even transfer on my own. I can't even roll over. I can't, what I was able to do as a collegiate athlete, I couldn't even do. And I needed some help. And so some people think, that's where your resilience journey started, but it really wasn't. It started early on. It started early on with the great mom.
Yeah. Ooh, say that again. I like that.
It started early on with the great mom.
That's awesome. Tell me about that.
Yeah, if I were to write a book, a biography, I would name it My Mother's Son.
That's beautiful. I love that. Also, son, if you're listening, that's also the name of your book.
Absolutely. And so again, I'm like, I don't like saying this because we live in a first world country. We live in America. I've been all over the world. And when I go to places like Sri Lanka and Nepal and all these other third world countries, I come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have it so good. And I hear people saying, we were so poor. We were so poor. We were so poor. and I always say there's always a level of whether or not how rich you are or aren't. I'm in the middle of 8 kids, 8 brothers and sisters. And I always ask people, I'm like, we were so poor. I didn't know how poor we were, but we were so poor that I had an older brother and a younger brother. And I'm like, we were so poor. I'm like, we had an underwear drawer that we had to share.
Wow.
And so the people are like, an underwear drawer? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, some days it was too loose. Other days it was too tight. And some days it was just right.
Wow.
And so, but going back to my mom here, you're like, what's going on here? My mom was born in between the Great Depression and World War II.
Yeah. Pivotal time.
Yeah. And she grew up in northern Utah on a farm, a dairy farm. And so she learned her life lessons knee deep in cow poop. And so she passed these lessons on to me. I remember when I was about her age, when she learned this lesson that she taught me. I was 10 years old, is probably trying to avoid chores. I went into her office, and there she was working on her computer, and there's a little sticky note in the top left corner of her computer. And on the sticky note, it says, challenges are like manure. They sure do stink, but they certainly help things grow. And I'm like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, blown away. But for me, that was too complicated. So I'm like, I got to simplify this. And so I changed it into turn your crap into a crop.
Nice.
And I'm like, we've got to learn how to take our crap and turn it into a crop, take our mess, and turn it into our message, and on all these other things that you've heard, and whatnot. And so my journey started with my mom and the life lessons that she taught me. And really that was a pivotal thing for me in my life was the lessons that my mom taught me. I didn't listen to her all the time. I didn't apply them all the time perfectly, but we were not financially well off, but I would not trade anything for the lessons that my mom taught me, and that has helped me become the man I am today.
Griff, I love that so much because number one, good for your mom that she took a minute to remind herself every day of where her mindset was, right? And I think for that time, for that era, I don't know how frequent, I don't know how often people took the time to actually put those reminders out to remind themselves. So good for her. It sounds like you had really good roots in mindset shifts and kind of that, to your point of the resilience journey, started well before you actually had to tap into it.
Yeah.
And I think I am so, that speaks to me because I think, we have these experiences, we go through life and we bank these experiences over time. And when we hit challenges, we think that we're completely unequipped. But to your point, when you hit that space, if you go back deep enough, far enough, you'll find that you've had these moments already in smaller increments.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've probably found that experience to be true.
Yeah, I call them flecks of gold.
Yeah.
Like we go throughout our life and we come across these flecks of gold in our life.
Yeah.
And we have the choice to either pick them up and put them away or we can just ignore them. Like, that's just a flex, that's just a flecks of gold. I'm looking for the gold nuggets. Give me the gold nuggets.
Right.
But eventually after a while, you have this bag full of flecks of gold that you're like, okay, now I can take them all together. I can refine them. I can define them. I can forge them in a fire. And now I have these gold nuggets, which I have some gold nuggets that have helped me through this journey that I've been through. I talked about being on my back there in the fields of Napoleon Dynamite country, had just fallen 40 feet. My dreams of playing football shattered and gone. And I'm like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? What do I do? And this is what I discovered. I'm physically paralyzed. People can't see that right now, but I'm physically paralyzed. I speak all over the world. And when I come rolling out on stage, I just address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
About how good looking I am.
I'm so glad that we got that out of the way.
I know. Let's just get that out of the way. Like, stop staring. Like, eyes up here, eyes up here. And
moving on, people.
I know. Moving on. But I speak all over the stage, and I address the elephant in the room. And the elephant is, I went from 6'1" to 4'7" overnight.
Yeah.
And I see things different.
Yeah.
Literally and physically. And I to be honest with you, I haven't always been this optimistic. I haven't been this resilient. In fact, there was a pivotal point in my life that is still embarrassing to even think about at this moment, but it was a catalyst that I believe helped me with this challenge that we're talking about right now, where I find myself on my back, broken and bruised and battered and paralyzed from the waist down. And it helped me. It helped me sift through the broken pieces of my dream and my shattered back to identify these flecks of gold. And it helped me pick up the pieces that I wanted to pick up, dust myself off, and dream new dreams to help me, go live a life that takes my breath away instead of just barely breathing and calling it a life. And so,
can you tell me about the experience itself, just for some context? Like, what was that moment that really put you on a different trajectory?
Yeah, that catalyst, absolutely. In fact, my dream as a little kid was to play football in college.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned too, is that, and don't let me just kind of, and we'll go back to that, but let me just quickly just reiterate what I discovered, in sifting through this, these broken pieces in my shattered back. And I come rolling on a stage, and I'm physically paralyzed. People can see that I'm physically paralyzed. And I've gone from 6'1" to 4'7". I see things different. But this is what I've discovered, Carrie, that I may be physically paralyzed, but I've learned that most of us, if not all of us, have been paralyzed from the demons of doubt, fear, and complacency. And so I had a decision to make. I can lay down, or I could get back up and dream new dreams.
Those three things specifically: doubt, fear, and complacency.
Yeah, the demons of doubt, fear, and complacency. I don't care how high you've been, the athletes you are, the leaders you've been. We all are human beings, and we all deal with those demons, those dragons, those things that rear their heads up against us all the time. And what's interesting is I was prepared for this moment because of what happened 3 or 4 years prior to that kind of galvanized my mindset and kind of helped me. It was an embarrassing experience that was the experience that influenced and fueled the second part of my journey, or the journey that I'm currently on right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, because I believe I've had that in my life too, right? But you have to be in the pause to be able to appreciate that you can see that the stones, how they all connect, the paths, the little walking paths. For you, Jeff, what was that? What was that embarrassing moment for you that really brought you into that space where you could draw from that to move forward? Because I think, again, if we talk about feeling like you're not resilient, and I don't think resilience is ever, we never wake up one morning and say, today I'm resilient, I've done it. You know what I mean?
I'm here.
It's like, it's a constant ongoing journey, right? And so when we find ourselves in those moments of falling off a 40-foot height, whatever that is for you, in my experience, it was the mental health of a loved one. And this particular individual literally, mentally, physically, financially just fell 40 feet.
Yeah.
And was paralyzed, in each of those aspects in their life. And so, there's two parties. There's one party that's experiencing it, and there's the other party that is watching it and experiencing it, and resilience in both parties has to align. And so, when you don't have an alternative plan, I'm playing football. That's what I'm doing. That's my goal. I'm going to make that happen, right? I'm going to be this. I'm going to do this. And there's no acceptance that the path may not be that way, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. But when you hit trauma like that and you're not prepared to pivot, because you don't go inward to recognize the flecks of gold that
Mm-hmm.
you've built over time.
Yeah.
That is, I think, in my mind, one of the most challenging things to overcome. To be in a space where you just are like, I have no default.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
You know, so for you, what was that experience like for you? And how did you use that previous experience to kind of move you forward?
Yeah, 100%. And I love that the inability to pivot. And I'm thinking to pivot or even pick up the pieces.
Right.
You're like, again, for me, my identity was my physicality, and that was gone. It was shattered.
Right.
And I would be lying if I didn't say that I didn't enter into that sauna of self-pity.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walling around in there. I don't know if you've been there before, where things don't go your way, or your dreams are shattered, or just, something's just, like you said, it's just the foundation has just been taken out from
Totally.
me. Entered into that sauna of self-pity. But because of what happened years prior, I was able to exit out of that sauna. And so I go around the world and I tell people to not quit. You know, right? Because one of the 3Ds that are at the foundation of every problem, I believe, we spend so much time on the problem, but we don't spend enough time on the solution. And we've defined it, we refine it. We're like, we are so good at talking about our problems. Let me tell you about my problem.
Totally.
Let me tell you about, you know what? Let me tell you about my owie here. You're like, let me one up you. Let me tell you about
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, well, what about the solutions? And so the 3Ds that sit at the foundation of overcoming our problems and finding the solution is desire, dream, and do. And so I go around and tell people, I'm like, hey, listen, you got to have a dream, and you got to have a desire that matches up with your dream, and you got to do the things that you need, that's required to obtain your dreams and desires. And so I go around the world and I tell people this, and I tell them, I'm like, listen, you got to know what success is. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes we can learn something we can learn what something is by what it isn't. And we've all been taught that the opposite of success is failure. And that's a bunch of crap, because we've all been there.
Yeah.
And I think failure is part of success.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And so I'm like, eliminate that idea from your mind. If you think that the opposite of success is failure, get rid of it, because it's not, because failure is part of succeeding.
Yeah. Well, it's the duality of humanity, right? It's we fail, succeed, fail, succeed. This is the pattern. Yeah. This is life. And I think when you can accept, to your point, for all of the information and the coaching that you do, Jeff, and just the motivational speaking that you're doing, when you can sit in a space of acceptance that you can be both successful and have failed, whatever that looks like to you, at the same time, that is a beautiful sweet spot in my mind of resilience.
Yeah.
Right? I'm living both of these things simultaneously, and they're both teaching me different things at the same time. That is a beautiful place to be when you have to figure out a path forward.
Yeah.
It's okay that I'm living both of these things at the same time. I don't have to be one or the other, right? The yin and yang of life. Yeah. So for you, what was that journey like for you to live in both those places? Because I know you did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
again, it is, sometimes we don't understand that is needed, and they're both beautiful. But for me, Mike, my dream was to play football in college, and I was told that I couldn't play football. You're like, you're too short, you're too slow, you're too white, all these reasons why I couldn't play football in college. But for me, I was fortunate enough to know that I had a song inside my soul which was you want to play football. Yeah. I played in the springtime, I played in the summertime, I played in the wintertime. And on Sundays when my mom wouldn't let me play it outside, I'd go down to my basement and I would play it in my mind, dreaming about making catch after catch after catch from the next All-American quarterback from BYU. I grew up in Cache Valley, wanted to play at BYU. But I was told, you can't, Griff, you can't. And everyone gave me all the reasons why I couldn't. And I didn't realize that we as human beings, we base other people's possibilities on our limitations.
Say it again.
We base other people's possibilities on our limitations, or other people base our possibilities on their limitations.
Yes, projection is everything.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so I didn't know this as a little kid, but I'm like, so eliminate that word, I can't. But I kept on chasing after my dream. And finally I came home from practice my senior year, and I received a letter from the football program that I wanted to go to, from the legendary Hall of Fame coach, Lavelle Edwards. inviting me, the short, slow white guy, to come play for his program at BYU.
Wow.
And I was told I can't. My whole life, I thought he was just giving these out to everybody. So I took it to my teammates, and I'm like, hey, did you guys get this? I was like, no, we didn't. And they tried to take my head off at practice. The reason why I tell you this is because here is a ticket. Here was an invitation for me to come play. And so I showed up to practice my freshman year on campus, excited to do this. And I realized that there was 100 other football players wanting to do the same thing. They had the same dreams. And some of the people out there were like, you know what, my solution is to tear you down that I'm above you. It's not that it's lifting them up, it's just tearing me down so they're above.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared for the pressure, or so I thought. You know, routes I typically ran with crispness, I stumbled and fell. Catches the passes I typically caught, I dropped. And teammates that were once encouraging me were now discouraging me. And I was not prepared for that. And it was more than I thought I could handle. And so after about 7 days of that environment, I called my mom and dad up and told them that I was cut. And I wasn't cut. I quit. And so again, that thought just is like, I'm so embarrassed about that. But it taught me a lesson of a lifetime. And the lesson that it taught me is when our dreams do not match up with our desires, those demons of doubt, fear, and complacency are going to creep in, constantly creep in, and rear their heads and get to us. And so we've got to be prepared for those moments. And so I walked away from my dream. And here I am telling everybody to chase down their dream. I walked away from my dream. Wow. And not only that, I didn't even walk away from my dream. I lied. You know, what's really embarrassing is I lied to my parents. I was so embarrassed that I quit on my dreams that I told them that I was cut instead of that I quit. And so, but I learned a lesson of a lifetime, and that is, when are we going to stop lying to ourselves?
Powerful. Yeah.
When are we going to stop lying to
ourselves? Well, I was
ourselves?
just thinking about that when you were saying that. I was like, not only did you lie to your parents, but you lied to yourself. That is hard stuff. The things that we do to ourselves are some of the hardest things that we have to overcome. Even sometimes harder than things that are done to us or around us or for us, depending on what your perspective is, right? So I really value that was your catalyst, like your look back in life to say, yeah, I'm never going to be in that situation. I'm never going to lie to myself again. Which, I mean, Jeff, to this day, you don't. Like you're 100% transparent. You can see it in your book. You see it when you coach. You're just like no holds bar truth about the experiences of life, you know, and how to approach it. So, you know, how did you, like, what happened next in the story? Because that is a big recovery, to walk away from that, knowing that you lied to yourself. Forget letting down other people. It's you. Right. And how do you become resilient in that experience where it's not done to you or something didn't happen to you? Right.
And so for me, it was like, okay, I had this dream, chased after it, was there for a couple days, but then quit. And I realized that, you know, all of our dreams are going to be challenged and our desire is going to be tested. We're going to have those conflicting desires. I don't know if you've ever experienced that before, where you want to do something, but you're like, maybe tomorrow. I want to lose some weight. I want to work out.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like going to the gym. I'm like, I'll get to it tomorrow.
I want to work out. And you wake up tomorrow, you're like, maybe tomorrow. I'll start working out tomorrow. And so for me, fortunately for me, you know, I learned how to develop a desire that matches up with your dreams. Some people think that we're just born with this definite, deliberate desire that Napoleon Hill talks about, that you got to burn the boats. You got, you know, your desire needs to be definite, but no one ever teaches us how to do that.
How to do it.
You're like, okay, how do you do that? And so for me, fortunately for me, I believe in second chances. And fortunately for me, my coach gave me a second chance. And I went and served a mission in Spain for 2 years and learned what it means to develop your desire and how to develop your desire. And so there's a technique that I know how to not just help myself, but to duplicate it and to repeat it. And it's predictable and it's going to help everyone else who wants to do that.
Yeah.
And I call it the possibility mindset. It's the possibility principle. It's the P squared mindset where it's like, okay, I'm going to work on my desire. I'm going to develop this desire that matches up with my dreams. And I'm going to develop this desire that is going to be able to withstand and uphold my dreams and withstand the resistance that's going to come from other people when you go and chase down that dream. And so I learned that and developed that and was able to, put it in a program to where it could help other people. That came later, but all this stuff that I was learning during these 2 years of service and discovery, I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. And so I got home, went back, tried out for the team, made the team, and was able to play 2 downs. I got to experience what it would be like to be on the first team, to be on the field, to have that experience where you're in the game instead of just spectating. You're like, and so it was just a beautiful moment where I'm like, okay, yes, redemption, absolutely. Here we are. It was completely different dichotomy here, 2 different worlds. This embarrassing moment that I had to where I'm like, yes, now here I am at the pinnacle of my dream. I was able to experience what it would be like to be on the field instead of just in the stands. And unfortunately for me, in between seasons, I went and started my own business, went and painted a barn up in Preston, Idaho, and it changed my life.
Wow.
My dreams came crashing down. My broke my back, left me paralyzed from the waist down, and I went into that tailspin and went into that sauna of self-pity. But because of that experience of what happened, with another experience that happened in the hospital with a prisoner who was doing some rehab there at the hospital that asked me a question that freed me from my prison. And so that question from the prisoner reminded me of the lessons that I had learned, this technique that I had developed, to where it's like, yeah, Griff, dream new dreams. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and dream new dreams. And it was like, okay, let's go. And I haven't looked back since. But that question that prisoner asked me was like a slap in the face.
Yeah. Can you share it?
100%.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to know what it is.
I want to hear it. Yeah.
So, when you're hurt, you want to be left alone. Worst thing for anybody to do is to go and retreat and be on your own. So if you're hurting, find somebody, allow somebody into your life, because it's so important. But I was hurting, as you can imagine. Couldn't even get out of bed without the aid of a nurse. It took me 30 minutes to get out of my bed into my wheelchair. They wouldn't feed me in bed anymore. And they would, unless I went to the cafeteria. So I went to the cafeteria, and it took me an hour to put my pants on. It was just the littlest things took forever. So you could imagine somebody who's who's all based on the physicality and what he's capable of doing, now has to have a nurse come in and roll him over every 2 hours so he doesn't get a pressure sore. And so I'm just like, just having a difficult time. And there's one day I was rolling down the sterile halls of the hospital, going to the cafeteria, having the worst pity party of my life, and get to the cafeteria, getting my food, and I go to the corner of the cafeteria because I want to be left alone. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
Wounded dog.
Don't be by me.
Right.
And it's like, just stay away from me. You don't even want to be in my vicinity, because I will just like kill you with my daggers.
Right.
Complete opposite energy that you experience. And it was just like, I was just so bitter because I was thinking about all the things that I couldn't do. And I'm in the corner of the cafeteria. I'm flavoring the food with my tears, and I just want to be left alone. And all of a sudden, this tray plops down in front of me, and I look up, and I'm about to tell this person to go take a hike and use some words that I'm not going to use right now. And I looked at him before I could even say anything. He asked the question that changed my life, that helped me exit that sauna, that reminded me of that lesson that I learned several years earlier. And the question that he asked me was, "Why are you crying, dude?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Why are you crying, dude?" This prisoner was lifting weights in prison, had an aneurysm in his brain, paralyzed the right side of his body. He couldn't speak, but in his slurred speech, I heard the question that set me free from my prison. And that was, "Why are you crying, dude?" And all of a sudden, bam.
Oh, you just gave me goosebumps.
Slapped me out of my pity party. And instead of focusing on all the things that I couldn't do, I started to realize that there's things that I can do. And I looked down and I missed this person, completely missed him. Here's this, this patient in the hospital, paralyzed from the neck down. He has a halo screwed to his skull. He can't even move or feed himself. And so there's somebody feeding him. I can feed myself. I can move my arms. The gentleman next to him was paralyzed from the neck down too, but he had some movement. So they taped a fork to his thumb and finger. And he's attempting to try to bring the morsel up to his mouth. And by the time he got the fork to his mouth, all the food had fallen off and he's struggling just to feed himself. And here I am complaining. And I'm like, "Why are you crying, dude? You can feed yourself. You can give hugs. You can transfer. You can roll over. There's so many things that you can still do that other people can't." And so immediately from that moment forward, it was, okay, let's start focusing on things that you can do. Instead of what you can't do. And so just that shift and reframing was all it is. And so that's probably one of the biggest things that I invite everyone to do is to make that shift.
What I really appreciate about that journey, Jeff, right now though, is that, I think sometimes we feel like people just say, be resilient. You can just wake up and you can just have a different mindset and you can just do something, right? But I really appreciate that you said that you're very open with, no, I lived here. I lived in the bottom of the hole for a while, right? And I think that's a very real part. You can't be resilient from what you don't recover from, what you don't overcome. You have to spend time in that space. And that's not to say that you have to spend time being in a pity party, but it's okay to mourn the loss of the thing.
Yes.
Right? And it's okay that you sit in that moment. And I think for everybody around you, I heard this, I read this article one time. I've shared this before. I don't remember who I shared it with, but it's really stuck with me. There's this phrase called toxic positivity, which is like, somebody comes and you're having a terrible day and they say, it'll be fine. At least you have your health. At least you have this, right? And when you're in that moment of grieving, and that really is what we do. When we fall off that 40-foot building, we're going to grieve for a while, right? Mentally, spiritually, whatever that looks like, we're going to spend some time there and it's okay. And I've always thought about that toxic positivity versus the reality of really truly overcoming something, right? And really being in that process of like, yeah, I do have my health, but I can't appreciate it right now because I'm so absorbed with this grieving, right? And so I think we all have that journey where there is something that happens. There has to be, Jeff. We can't stay in that forever. There has to be that moment where something clicks and you go, like you did, oh, okay. And now you're out of the grieving hole. And now you look around and say, oh, holy crap, I have like all these flecks of gold that I have to pick up. And so, moving from that space, and it's a beautiful thing when we get there. It's so relieving to get to that place, right? But when we get there, what do we do now? It's one thing to say, oh, look at all the things I can do. It's another thing for your actions to follow the mindset, right? So for you, what were the actions that you took to stay in that space to pull you through that process?
Yeah, and that's important to understand. That everyone's asking me. My follow-up question is like, have you been back to the sauna of self-pity? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
And my wife can attest to that. And she's like, I have my bad days. I have some down moments.
Sure.
But I don't stay there, and I haven't ever gone back to that sauna of self-pity.
Yeah.
And again, I haven't always been this optimistic.
Yeah.
And I haven't always been who I am, but it was that prisoner that asked that question that set me free from my prison. And I think that we all need a prisoner out there to set us free from our prison. And that might be a simple, pat on the back. It might just be a simple acknowledgement of, yeah, you are grieving. You are going through pain. Because here's what I've learned, Carrie, all pain hurts. No matter the size, all pain hurts. I think the Dalai Lama said that we all experience pain, but we all have the decision to suffer or not.
Yeah.
And people will come up to me all the time like, hey, Griff, you're in a chair. I see you're in a chair. I've been in a chair. I know exactly how you feel. And they're standing there walking, and I look at them. At first, it bugged me. I'm like, you have no clue. Yeah. You have no clue what it's like.
You're like, we haven't quite explored the depths of empathy yet, but. Yeah.
But I've learned and realized.
But they've tried.
Yeah, they tried.
They tried.
And I acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is when the first 2 weeks of any challenge is the hardest. If somebody is able-bodied and they break their leg, it is so hard to get around and adjust your life for the next 2 weeks. If you're in the chair for 2 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever it is, the first 2 weeks are the hardest. If you go through a divorce, those first 2 weeks are the hardest. If you're if you're a father who loses his wife and now has to take care of the kids, it's like, okay, those first 2 weeks are the hardest. Whatever is different in our lives, those first 2 weeks are the hardest. And so understand that, yeah, those first 2 weeks, they're going to suck.
And give yourself the time.
Yeah.
Just live in that space for 2 weeks.
Or however much time you need.
Yeah.
However much time you need, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And, but don't stay there.
Yeah.
Because we all know what happens if you stay in the sauna for too long.
Yeah.
You get wrinkly and raisiny and soft and weak and then you can't handle it. But here's the beauty of it. Here's what I've learned. It's in the challenge that we find the resilience.
Yeah.
So embrace the challenge.
Yeah.
Embrace the hurdle that's in front of you. Embrace the suck.
I so value that. First of all, embrace the suck, right? Like it's part of the resilience and the struggle, right? The failure and the success. It's always going to be a part of your life. But what I want to come back to something that you said earlier, which was I knew that I had the capacity. I knew I had the capability. I knew what I was capable of doing. And I think for me in my life, Griff, that's been the thing that has pulled me through every challenge. I believe that I'm more than this moment. I believe it, right? And to sit in that duality of knowing that you are, but not knowing how to achieve it yet, but knowing that it's enough for you to work towards achieving it, that is so powerful. And for me, that has been true. And one thing that I have found to be really helpful is to serve other people. It's a basic principle, right? Service always makes you feel better. But in my life, that's been ultimately true. When I'm in the service of other people, I don't think about my pain. I don't think about the stress, but it helps me align more with the capability that I know is living inside of me.
Yeah.
And it stretches me to that space where I'm thinking about somebody else and I'm thinking about their journey and I'm focused on how I help them. And in doing so, I help myself every time. And so, for you, what was the service part for you that you could sit in, that you did, that really took your mind to a different place? Because I believe, just based on who you are, and I've only entered your life over the last year, but I based on this story and who you are, that was a big part of also your journey, was figuring out how to be out of you and into someone else, right?
100%. Again, it's like making the shift and reframing things. Focusing on what you can do instead of what you can't do. Dreaming new dreams, making sure that you have a dream in mind, because most people are paralyzed and stuck because they have no idea what they want. Yeah. They have no idea what they want. And so that's one of the biggest things that we help people do, is we help them find their why. I know people are like, you got to know your why, you got to have your dream, but people don't teach you how to do it. And so we know how to teach you how to find and discover your dream on a subconscious level and a molecular level. And then when they come together, it's like, wow, this is beautiful. But you mentioned about service. Service is one of those things that I ask people to do immediately, is to swat somebody. You know, that prisoner just like swat me on the side of the head. And what I mean by swat means serve without a trace. And some of the greatest men and women of history, if we look back, some of the greatest men and women of history are men of service. And so I love the fact that you're like, you know what, this is a simple principle and it's powerful. But like the Navy SEALs taught me in 2019, like, Griff, it's simple to be a Navy SEAL. It's just not easy.
It's just not easy.
Some of these principles are so simple, but it's like we forget, we get distracted, and we're like, nah, that can't be it. That's too simple. It can't. I'm trying to find the hard in this. And we don't have to, but serving is so important. And so for me, it's like, okay, how do I want people to remember me when I'm gone? When I mean gone, like out of your life. Like, you know, we met at this one place. It's like, okay, how do I want people to remember me as I'm gone as from this place, and also gone from this world, the end of my life. And most of us can't get that far down into the future. We're like, when I was younger, I'm like, I could only get past, you know, lunch. I'm like, that's as far into the future as I can get to. It's like, what's for lunch?
I don't know. Mine was always like, can I just get home for the Oreo? I just want the Oreo.
And so it's like, okay, you're asking me to like, what do I want people to remember me when I'm gone? And so for me, one of my greatest desires is I want my friends and family members and even strangers, I want people who I meet to remember me as a man that lightened their loads, lifted their spirits, and loved them. And so I'm like, that's free. We can give love free. We can give our energy and light for free. And it's like, that's what I want to leave. I want to leave this legacy that I lifted that person's spirit. I lightened their loads somehow, some way. And the easiest way to serve somebody is with a smile. And carry a smile as a crooked line that sets things straight. And so like smile. That. I love your smile. That. You go around and just smile. I was in Europe, in Estonia, and people don't like to smile. I was in Sweden another time, and they don't like even eye contact. And so I'm rolling down the sidewalk, I'm looking at people in the eyes. They're like, they're like trying to look away. But then it's like that accident on the highway that you cannot not look away. They're like, something's up with this guy, and like, I'm trying not to look. They're side-eyeing me. And I'm looking at them, and I'm just smiling, and it's something that they're not used to. You know, first of all, an able-bodied person, but somebody in a wheelchair as well is like eye contact, acknowledging that you exist, that you're important, that the world needs you.
So take that message right there, Griffin, into the why, because I'm a little bit obsessed with this comment that you made, which is like, people don't know their why. And I've been asked that question before, you know, what is it that you want in life? And I think we're so busy all the time doing all the things, thinking about all the things that we don't have or haven't been or all that, that we never stop to really think about what is aligned with my soul, and do I even know my soul enough to align something with it, you know? And so I think this why is so sick. The why feeds the smile. The why, like, you're understanding that you're in alignment with yourself and in service with somebody else, and that you have a bigger mission and you have capacity and capability, educates your smile. Right? And so I really appreciate that. When you do a workshop with people, how do you get to the why?
Yeah, that's a great question, because, you know, the greats out there tell you got to have your why, you got to know your dream, but they don't explain how to do it. I've discovered these flecks of gold, turned them into gold nuggets, and now we know it's predictable, it's repeatable, and it's proven, and we know how to do it, and it's wonderful and it's beautiful, and I call it dream weaving. I call it dream weaving, and so, you know, I don't know when the last time you've allowed yourself to dream. Last time you allowed yourself to dream in color and HD and 4K, and to slow down enough to actually to bring it in. And well, I'm talking about when you're a kid, you know, when you're a little kid and you just dreamt about doing all these things, being an astronaut, being a firefighter, a nurse.
No, I was Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels. There you go. Dukes of Hazzard, going on, you know, jumping the hood and whatnot. But again, it's like, when's the last time we've allowed ourselves to weave that tapestry of dreams that's going to hang on somebody else's social media wall?
Right.
And so people are like, yeah, I want that. I want that, but they don't know how to do that. And we mentioned success a little bit ago, and I believe that you know, again, failure is not the opposite of success. And I invite you to give yourself permission to fail, because failures at first are triumphs that last, as long as you just don't quit. And so quitting is the opposite of success. Not even trying is the opposite of success. But people are like, I've tried so many times and I still don't know, because they haven't been doing the right thing.
Right.
They haven't been doing the right thing.
Yeah. And sometimes you're trying in the wrong place.
Yes.
Not that just you're not doing the right thing, but you're in a completely wrong place that you shouldn't even be trying for. And we're just grasping for the answer instead of doing that really deep dive work, which, to your point, if we don't know how, we don't do the work because we don't have the tools. So I really appreciate that you're bringing this to. I interrupted you.
No, you're good. That's perfect. I love that. I love that insight, because again, success to me is a 3-part series. It's KFC. It's not the.
I love all your acronyms.
It's not the Kentucky Fried Chicken. But it is finger licking good once you understand what it is.
Explain.
Yes, absolutely.
Now you're making me hungry for chicken.
What is KFC? You're like, what is KFC? But the KFC is an acronym. It's like the K is you got to know what you want. We talked about this. You got to know what you want. The F is finish what you start.
That is so important.
And we're going to get into some of those things that can help us finish what we start. And the C is celebrate the process. And I'm not just talking about celebrating at the end, where high level leaders love to they finally climb the top of the mountain. They're like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
And they don't celebrate when they get to the top. But I'm not talking about celebrating when you get to the top. I'm talking about celebrating when you discover your why. Celebrate the fact that you know exactly what it is that you want to do, that puts that smile on your face, where you wake up in the morning, instead of being dragged out from that alarm, it's like, you pop up and you're like, I'm ready to go. Yeah. And instead of being dragged to the destination, you're being drawn to the destination. And once you truly understand what you want, what your dream is, once you know that, oh my goodness. Yeah. Your heart starts beating in a different cadence, and it's beautiful. And so dream weaving is what I've developed, and in as little as 10 minutes is all it takes. But typically, Carrie, the first time that we do this, because we go subconscious. Yeah. We go subconscious. We go in. We go into places where people don't want to go, or they haven't allowed people to let in.
They haven't allowed themselves to go.
Yes, absolutely. Or they haven't slowed down enough to even contemplate what it is. So the first time that we do this, it takes about 90 minutes to 2 hours to actually pull it out of them. Wow. Yeah. But after that session, there's this list that they have of all these things that they know in their heart's desire that they want to do this. This is their dream. These are the things they want to do. And now they have this whole list of everything that they want to do. And you know as well as I do that where our energy goes, where our focus goes, our energy goes. Yeah. And so if we keep on focusing on what we don't want, we're going to continue to get that. And so with dream weaving, it's like, boom, we go subconscious. And then with this other tool that I have I partnered up with this gentleman in Lebanon. He's a PhD neuroscientist, taught at Cambridge University, smart guy. Cool. Smart guy. And they mapped the DNA. Yeah. They mapped the DNA. They've mapped the DNA sequence back in '92, and him and his team has discovered 54 markers that have identified what you're predisposed genetically. So we were talking about the 23andMe earlier. Yeah. It's a simple little swab kit that he has that will identify what you're predisposed on a genetic level, meaning what lights you up. What what codes do you come with?
Gosh, that's amazing. The technology is so fascinating today. What an incredible tool.
Yeah. And so between Meet Yourself and dream weaving, I can go subconscious. with the help of Dr. Ead's tool, he can go molecular, and we meet at the end where we're like, okay, we help people renew the real you.
Griff, at what point did you become a coach? Like, at what point did you decide this is my path, this is my journey, right? Because I'm just thinking about these partnerships that you've created and the connections that you have around the world. And, you know, it's always so interesting for me to know how the why came to be for you. You know, why did this resonate with you? How did this work move you? And what made you want to be out in front of people sharing this information?
It's taken a while for me to get to that point where I'm like, yeah, I do want to coach people.
Yeah.
One-on-one. I do want to get into that, have that intimate experience one-on-one because my mission right now is to be on stage, to help people overcome that number one constraint, which is a lack of belief, which is, you know, I don't have the courage to overcome, you know, this fear, or I don't have the faith to overcome the doubt, or I don't have the gratitude to overcome the complacency.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Gratitude to overcome complacency. That's powerful. I mean, gratitude is an antidote for so many of our challenges, right? But I've never really looked at it as a complacency solution.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Just being able to identify things that you're grateful for. I can honestly say, Carrie, that I'm grateful to be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm dissatisfied, but grateful. And so my mission is to be on stage and to hit the masses. And I was doing an event in Sun Valley, and this woman came up to me afterwards. She's like, Griff, do you coach?
You're like, maybe I do.
And I'm like, no, I don't. It's like, no, really, do you coach? I'm like, no, I don't. My mission is to reach the thousands, the millions. And she's like, Griff, do you coach? And then it clicked. I'm like, oh, I think I know what you're saying. You're asking me
to be a coach,
if I can coach you,
right?
So that you can go back and impact the hundreds of people that you deal with.
Yeah.
And so here's the beauty of it, Carrie. If I can sincerely impact 1,000 people who impact 1,000 people, we've just impacted 1,000,000 people. And 1,000 is doable.
Beautiful.
And if I just take it one at a time, it's like, yeah, absolutely. Let's focus on this one right now. And so for me, it was like, oh yeah, yes, my mission is to be on stage, is to help people overcome this constraint that we have. And I can continue to do that, but I can also link arms and serve other leaders because we all need a hand up, not a hand out, but we all need a hand up.
Yeah.
And if I can help this leader who is helping these people, I'm like, how beautiful is that to see them go out and shine and do their thing.
I love that. And new doors open in our journeys. Like once you are in alignment with the initial path, right? You just have to be in alignment with this part of it. And then the doors open for you at stages that you're prepared for, you know, because you've taken that initial step into be authentic with your soul. You know, and I was just thinking, Griff, like you have an athlete mindset. I mean, you're an athlete at heart, you know, you are an Olympic athlete at that, which by the way, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was awesome.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like finish this without recognizing that because that's really powerful. And I think it speaks to the in-between of where the story started and where you are now. And so I really love that. It's a really particular part of your story that's super important. And I think that athletes have a different DNA. They just do, you know, and they are built inside and outside for impact and for getting back up and for healing and for like just grinding in it, right? And just there's a different mentality that goes into athletes, and it's a really impactful thing to watch. And so I really love that you are an athlete now in a completely different space, and that you've just taken what is innate to you and has always been innate to you and shifted it into a completely different path. Equally as important, equally as impactful, equally as like, I got to get up every day and do this. I got to grind. I've got to but with a smile. Yeah. Because I'm doing the thing that I love to do. Yeah. And you never would have found this path. Yeah. had you not fallen off a 40-foot building.
Right.
As tragic as that was, the world has this Griffin.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we've got you. We would not have had that
Mm-hmm.
had you just stayed in the football arena.
Right.
So, you know, and to your point about impacting people, I had this visual the other day. I was like, I wonder if I'm on the other side. I'm finished with my mortal journey. I'm on the other side. And I look down and I see the one person that I helped and the other person that I helped and the other person that I helped. And I had no idea that simply by being me, that all of these people had been touched somehow. And that was it. It wasn't coming from an egocentric place. It was just coming of like a place of reflection. Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? And am I really making an impact in the world for people?
Yeah.
And I really did come right back down to that one. What is it going to be like for me when I reflect on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so to your point of like, what's the legacy that I want to leave here?
Right.
I want to leave a legacy that I look back on from the other side and I'm proud of
Yeah.
for myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, oh, okay, my life had meaning
Mm-hmm.
because these 5 people, 10 people, 100 people, however many people we encounter on a daily basis in our
Mm-hmm.
lives are edified or uplifted somehow
Yeah.
in their moment because I cared.
Love it. I love it. And
You
can,
know?
and can I just say this, Carrie?
Yeah.
We all have a song that sings inside our soul. And we think that we need to sing a song like so-and-so down the street or so-and-so
Yeah.
on the, you know, the social media platform or the electronic devices that we have. But we all have a song that sings inside our soul, and the world needs to hear your music. And thank you, Carrie, for sharing your song with this world.
you're
Thank you for sharing this song with me. Thank you for sharing this song with everybody. And it's beautiful because it is a perfect example of what resilience is. You mentioned something about grinding, and can I just shift that just a little bit?
Yeah.
Grinding. I used to hear it, and I used to do it all the time as an athlete. I'm like, I got to be bigger, faster, stronger. I got to like put in the work. I just got to, be tougher, stronger, grind. And Angela Duckworth in her book, Grit, I don't know if you read it. It's a beautiful book. Love her book.
Yeah.
Story about these West Point cadets and why they dropped out.
Yeah.
And she discovered that it was lack of grit. The ones that stayed were grit. And love her book. And she said that gritty people are hopeful people. And I think that she has this upside down. I love everything else about her book, but I think she has this upside down. Because she says that gritty people are hopeful people. In my mind, grit is like grind. And the thing is I'm starting to learn and realize that we can receive the same results with a different mindset, with a different shift. And so instead of being gritty and grinding, we have gratitude. But she says that gritty people are hopeful people. For me, I think that hopeful people are gritty people.
Yeah, that's funny you say that because I think I'm a gritty person. Like I think I get in and I'm okay there. It's okay for me to hustle. It's okay for me to do whatever I need to do to make that next thing happen. But I do think it's fueled by the hope that what I'm trying to achieve will come because I do the hard work, right? So I love that there's a differentiation between grinding and doing the hard work with gratitude.
Yeah, and again,
that's beautiful.
Right, and I don't want to take that away because again, we need to do the work.
Yeah, but the work is easier done when there's gratitude with it. Like then it doesn't feel like you're grinding.
Yeah,
it doesn't. You feel like you've got the grit inside of you, like the fabric, right, of your soul can like withstand the moment.
Yeah,
right. I'm gritty because I'm in that space, but how I move. It's not because I'm gritty that I'm moving forward. It's because I'm grateful that I'm moving forward. I have the fabric, but the gratitude is the engine, right?
100%.
I love
it's that shift.
Yeah.
It's just shifting. it. It's the same. Like 32 degrees is the same for melting and freezing.
Right.
It just depends on which direction you're going.
Right.
Hope and grit, we both agree with it,
Yeah.
Angela and I.
Yeah.
But she's like, gritty people are hopeful people. I'm like, no. Hopeful people are gritty people.
Yeah.
And you still have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And you still have to do
but
those.
you don't grit, you don't grind, you don't put the hard work in if there's nothing to hope for.
Right.
So I agree with you. I really love that. I'm going to sit with that for a little bit and process that. But I believe that. Yeah, we don't. resilience to me, and I'd love to hear your actual definition of resilience.
Mm-hmm.
But resilience to me embodies it only exists with hope.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no resilience without the hope that you're
Mm-hmm.
going to get through the challenge of it. And so for me, the hope is the thing that is key to all of it, right? It's the why
Mm-hmm.
for me to say, I hope so much. What fuels my hope? My gratitude, my service, my desire, my hard work, right? Like I'm soaking that in. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that perspective.
Absolutely. And so for me, hope is the ability to reach out into the future
Mm-hmm.
and grab onto your dreams and bring them back to the present in spite of your past, in spite of your setbacks,
Mm-hmm.
in spite of your challenges.
Yeah.
And then now you know what you now you know what you want. And then it goes to the second step, finish what you start.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the resilience comes into play. You're like, okay, can we develop the resilience to help us through those dark moments, those dips, those moments of doubt? Because we all experience it. I don't care who you are, how great you are, you're going to experience them. But have you developed the resilience?
Oh, thank you for saying that. Sorry, another realization that I'm having, but
Please
like
tell me what it is.
Because something just clicked that said the resilience is not in the moment that you decide to make a different choice. It's not. You can decide to make a different choice, but then you can go right back to where you were before. So that's not actually the resilience journey. The journey is in the what happens next, the action of it, right? And I think sometimes, even for me, I've equated the decision to be resilient as I'm resilient. I bounced back, or I bounced forward, or and then to reflect on the very challenging work that it has taken to actually take that moment and push it through. And so I really love that. You just kind of clarified a little bit more for me the differences between a mindset and an actual action plan.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the process.
Yeah.
It's the process that counts. We talk about the promises, we talk about the benefits, and we abort the process because we're focusing on the benefits and the promises, but it's the process that helps us progress. And part of the process is, what am I doing on a daily basis? What am I doing? What are the small things that I'm doing daily? Kind of like the flecks of gold that I'm doing over and over and over and consistently, consistent with it. And I call that it's the 252, Operation 252 is what I call it. It's the daily dime that you have to do every day. It's the holy habits and righteous routines. And so Operation 252 is the 5th step out of 10 steps that, world record leaders follow and finish with exactness. But everyone wants step number 5, but they're like, they don't want to deal with the first 4 steps. But the first 4 steps is what we're talking about here is
exactly.
like, how can we develop and prepare for this moment that's going to be our finest hour? And if we don't have that resilience, we're not going to be able to get to break through. Yeah. To get over, to get around, to get under, to keep on going. Right. When the naysayers, which you may be your biggest naysayer out there, you're the biggest critics that come after you and like, hey, listen, you can't do this. You're too slow. You're too short. Yeah. You're too white. You're too whatever it is. We're so good at coming up with all these excuses.
And also don't lie to yourself when you get it and tell yourself that you can't when it comes.
Huge. Yeah. Huge. Yeah. And that's what I love about you is you're like, you know what? I know that I can do this. I know that I have the ability to accomplish my dreams and desires. And if we'll just take the time to slow down, to filter out the noise, and get aligned with the music that's inside of us, instead of always listening to the music that's outside of us that other people are singing. Start playing your song. The world needs to hear your music.
Agreed. Jeff, thank you for this interview. This has been so fun. I could probably sit and chat with you for another hour and a half, 2 hours.
And Carrie, I feel like I haven't even given you some steps on resilience. I'm like, there's like 4 sources of resilience out here, but we're not going to talk about that, but we can come back again.
But I was just going to say, I'd love to have you come back for part 2, because I think there's been this conversation is significant. And I said before we came on, like, I don't ever script anything. We just converse, and whatever is the right thing to say, will be the right thing to say, and we'll explore it. And somebody who's watching or listening, whatever was said today, you know, I hope that this conversation was beneficial for that person.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters,
Right.
you know? And so the how-tos, I know very specifically that people can find those if they go to your website. There's some resources there that you can leverage. But we'll have you come back.
Yeah.
I'll have you come back and we'll get into that a little bit deeper. But I love that we've really processed the beginning. It's the beginning and all the ingredients that go into the beginning of resilience, right? And I think that's a really important step that we can't get to the next place without talking about that.
Right.
So if people want to download the resources, where can they go to find more?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, those who are still here with us.
You're all here with us.
I know. You know, we can cut this and clip this at the very beginning.
No.
For all you guys who are starting this journey with us, I have a free gift for your listeners,
love it.
and it's the possibility principle. It's the P-square mindset. If you go to my website at griffinmotivation.com, it's GRIFFIN.
Yep.
So it's like the mythical beast.
We'll put it in the show notes. Yeah.
So if you go to griffinmotivation.com and you go to the shop and you download the possibility principle, and you put in the coupon code P2, it's just the letter P and the number 2.
Okay.
It's free. It's free.
Awesome.
It's free for your listeners. That sits at the footing. It's the footings of the foundation, this possibility principle. It's a 21-day challenge. It's a simple 21-day challenge. But like the Navy SEAL said, even though it's simple, it may not be easy, but it is the very, very first thing that every single one of your listeners needs to understand on their journey to accomplishing their dreams and to develop the resilience and the desire that matches up with it. It is such a beautiful, beautiful principle. It will help them get aligned with their desire and dream where it's not conflicting. Because how many of us are like, you know what? I want to lose some weight. We take a drink from our big gulp and we're like, yeah, I really want to lose some weight. Take a bite from our Twinkie. We have conflicting desires, but it also teaches us what success is and how to really take that step to overcome that mental paralysis and take that first step. And the first step is sometimes the hardest.
Yeah.
And the first step may be, you know what? I am going to try again. I am going to do the work, put in the time to figure out what I want. And then once I know what I want, now I'm going to develop the resilience and the desire that matches it so I can chase that down. So I can orchestrate and conduct that song that sings inside my soul. And so that possibility principle can be downloaded, and anything else that you guys want, you can get the books and whatnot. And if you want some coaching, be happy to see see if there's some room. Yeah. And but again, this has been so wonderful to be able to sit in this energy that you bring. You are a beautiful person inside and out.
Griff, thank you so much. I feel the very same way about you. So thank you for bringing your light to me today and to everybody that's listening. And I really, really appreciate you. And I hope that we get to do some work somehow together in the future, because you're just awesome. So thanks for being awesome.
We're sharing the stage together.
That's right. We are.
Yes.
Welcome to our stage.
Yes. Refined resilience.
Refined resilience. That's right. Thank you so much, Griff. I appreciate you. And also, I do just want to say today is your birthday.
It is.
It may not be your birthday when we show this video, but I want to acknowledge you and say, happy birthday, and what a beautiful life you've lived, and you have many, many, many more years to come. So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Refined Resilience. We hope you found inspiration in the stories shared and the small moments that remind us all of our strength. Remember, resilience is built not just in the big challenges we face, but in the everyday experiences that shape who we are. A special thanks to our sponsor, Build Then Bless, for making Refined Resilience possible. Until next time, remember, it's the small moments of resilience that make us great.